Ever since I was maybe 10, 11, my brother Arshad and myself, we are 1 year apart. He is 1 year older to me. We were very interested in tinkering with things and always hanging out with construction workers, carpenters. But I knew that I had to go into something that was creative, something that I could build or I could design. Architecture should not be a style actually. It's actually an answer to a problem. You have come to me that I need a place to live. It's basically what your needs are, what your likes and dislikes, what your requirements, the location will influence everything, what is the weather there, what's the best material, what is the... So it is continuously working with honesty, and I play a lot with nature because I think you can't go wrong, and because you are an extension to that nature. The least a client has, the better the house becomes, because using a lot of expensive stuff, you don't get chained with that. You're always concerned. Jeffrey Bawa at Sri Lanka, he has influenced my work. Anjanandran of also in Sri Lanka, he's influenced my work. And constant learning that you do by looking at other people's works and their mistakes and their strengths. These are the two architects who have influenced our current work, where it was very down to earth, it's very ordinary looking, and you take ordinary things and make them extraordinary. And that's where I think the journey began with Khadi. When we started designing Khadi, I can do anything I want. I couldn't do these things anywhere else in the world, because you are allowed to innovate, you are allowed to experiment. If I want to put up a container on a building, I could. If I want to paint a building red, there's nobody out here to say no. What you're doing here right now, how many places in the world could you do this thing? That you go to a senior architect and say, I want to talk to you, or I want to meet you, or I want to interview you, and the guy gives you 1 hour of his life. People don't. It's the challenge that keeps your adrenaline going. The bigger the problem, the better the answer. You ask most of the businessmen out here, could you live abroad? I think most of them will say no. What you're doing is you're making an adaptive reuse of the building. You're adapting it to do something else, but you do it sensitively. I think Indus Valley is a good example, where we brought in this 100-year-old building from Karadar. It was being broken down, and we say, hey, don't break it, give it to us. So we brought the building over, but it wasn't large enough. But there were go-downs. So there was an adaptive reuse of that. We made them design studios, but they were not enough. So then we had to make a new building. One had to be very careful that which would be more special? The one that's 100 years old, or the one that is being built now? We really had a restraint. We have to restrain ourselves that let's keep it simple, let's keep it in the background, and let this stand out. And of course, it had to last forever. That was also important. That you don't do anything that's going to fall apart in 10-15 years. My brother, Arshad, he was my mentor. He and my Taya, Mr. Abdul Khalik Abdul Razak, he actually has been the mentor for the whole family, where it was continuously honesty. You do not do anything that you have to be worried about. You don't do anything that you have to be embarrassed about, and you don't cheat people, you don't hurt people. He actually taught us that money is the least important thing. I don't have an Armani suit or Armani shoes. In fact, I don't even have a suit, frankly. So if I have to go to Synth Club, I go and borrow somebody's suit. I think these two have played a very, very important role in my life, where you had to remain straight. I wish I was more grounded to Pakistan. I was a foreigner all my life. I went to grammar school. They forbid you to speak Urdu. Urdu was taken as a second language. Your own Madri Zaban, you couldn't speak. I hated that now. I can't understand Sher-o Shairi. I can't understand any other kind of an Urdu prose. वो मजाक ही अलग है यार. And I have to ask, what did he say? I hate that. So from grammar school, you go to the US, and now it's completely English. You come back, and all your clients are equally westernized. So you never get the exposure. After almost 25 years of my life, I dropped trousers. I started wearing kurta shalwar because I wanted to at least feel like the local people, because I feel I'm also local. The opportunities are all here. You just have to find them, look at them, and then do it right. You do not cheat. You do not lie, and mehnat. If you have these three things, there is no way you cannot succeed.